no one is going to take me out and shoot me afterwards. I haven't really checked on that. If you're a musician and you love the sound of your instrument, why don't we mic it that way? Why do we mic it in front of the instrument instead of where the musician hears it? If we take this concept a little further, why can't we record an entire orchestra that way? Violins, bass, drums, and record each instrument from where the instrumentalist hears it. So I made a mock-up of a pair of headphones and attached a small lavalier microphone to one or both sides, a mono version and a stereo version. I needed someone to record the orchestra in a traditional way so that I could record it in this experimental way, and I needed someone who was fantastic at it. I didn't want someone who was okay, I wanted the best. I called my friend Elliot Scheiner, and he put me in touch with Alon Millay, who had just written a new song and was happy to oblige us by recording this song as part of the test. Alon's chart consisted of strings, saxophone, bass, drums, 2 percussionists, piano, and vocal. Elliot set up the orchestra a traditional way, and I set up using these experimental headphones. We recorded the tracks, simultaneously recording the experimental version and the traditional version. We will play the whole song, but we will switch between both versions so you can get an idea of the difference in sonic texture between A and B, experiment and traditional.
1, 2, 3. No sé por qué, yo no sé por qué tiemblo así cuando beso tu piel. Yo no sé por qué al oír tu voz el ruiseñor renuncia a su cantar. Si te digo que siempre pienso en ti cuando estoy lejos de tus caricias, me dirías tú en la oscuridad, Ani אוהבת אותך מהמון. tiemblo así cuando beso tu piel. Yo no sé por qué al oír tu voz el ruiseñor renuncia a su cantar. Si te digo que siempre pienso en ti cuando estoy lejos de tus caricias, me dirías tú en la oscuridad, Ani ohebet otcha mi amor, mi amor.
In comparing the sound between the traditional miking and this new miking technique, it quickly became apparent that this miking technique actually worked. The musician is listening to what they're playing through their ears, and there's a subtlety and emotional context that gets lost when you place the microphone in the front of the instrument. There were aspects of it that were really quite striking, and so much so that the musicians, when they came in and heard it, were very, very surprised.
I mean, that was quite incredible for me. I was quite surprised when we came back to the control. I was playing drums, and one of the things that really stood up is that I could really hear the stick definition on the cymbals as if I was there. So I was like, wow, okay, it works.
So in this session, I think we were able to, through this experiment, find interesting new ways to capture that moment from the perspective of each individual playing the instrument. So and that was interesting. I really love how the strings were getting that sound, because you feel like the strings, they play into them, you know, and they get closer so they can hear and the vibration, so they can hear the pitch and how they feel.
This is something new, and the idea is not whether it's better, but is it a viable technique? And I think our session proved exactly that this is a very viable technique, and in fact, it's a technique that used with some of the standard miking could produce even more incredible results. It doesn't require very expensive microphones. In fact, the microphones we used were ATM 350As, which are about $250 a piece. The traditional setup had $4,000 microphones, $5,000 microphones. The genesis of this idea started formulating in my mind a couple of years ago. We had 110 people on the stage. Between the New York Philharmonic, we had probably 120 mics. But I afterwards started to realize the need from the video side to have a clean stage. I'm always trying to think of ways of getting more emotion out of performers. So all these ideas were kind of forming in my mind, and then, you know, I had my eureka moment. Well, why not record it from where the musician hears it? Violins are in 6 sharps, the tenors in 6 flat. You know, what's wrong with C?
Everybody knows C.
Exactly.